Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to go ahead and say thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity. Thank y'all. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications and hit that like button to join the Rich Gang family. And above all that, be sure to leave a comment down below because I'm going to go ahead and interact with y'all as much as I can. And that is just another way for me to do so. But as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen today, I am bringing y'all the top 3 most rare and best new lockdown defender builds or 2 ways on NBA 2K22 next gen. Now, I got a couple fire builds lined up for y'all today. Let's go ahead and get started with the first one. So as you can see, I did end up going with the height of 6'1", weight gonna be 182 with a 6'2" wingspan. Now, what we're gonna go ahead and do here is put our defensive, at least for the perimeter defense, up to a 94. Then for the steal, I'm gonna go with a 96 and 57 just to get a total of 23 badges. Then, once we go ahead and get into the shooting, with the way that shooting is, I'm gonna go ahead and go with an 80 mid-range, 95 three-pointer, and an 80 free throw. And that's gonna bring us up to a total of 31 badges. And we actually do get a good amount of Hall of Fame badges for the shooting, but look at the defensive as well. Now, when it comes down to the finishing, I'm going to go with an 84 driving dunk, 71 driving layup, and a 50 close shot. That's going to give us a total of 15 badges. Then, once it comes down the rest of the way, this is going to pretty much be based off of how you want to make this build. So if you wanted to, you can definitely change anything about this build when it comes down to the stats. The reason why I put this build at number 1 is because of the height. We're only going to go ahead and get taller from here. But as you can see, when it comes down to the playmaking, what I'm going to go ahead and do is make sure that I'm being very specific with the attributes. So as you can see, the speed with ball is going to be an 87. Then, once it comes down to our ball handle, I'm going to go ahead and leave this to a 78. That's right there going to give us a total of 18 badges. Now, if you want to go ahead and upgrade the pass accuracy, for my liking, I'm going to go somewhere around the 70s range. And for me, that's going to be exactly at 76 for a total of 24 badges. Then, I'm going to go with the speed of 90. Same thing for the acceleration, 75 vertical, and then a 99 stamina. Now, the takeovers, we get the lockdown, playmaking, then we also do get the sharpshooting, which is honestly going to be very helpful. Then, finally, we also do get the slashing. So whichever one you pick, this should all be based off of your own preference. But I'm telling you, whichever takeover, just make sure you are adding the plus 10 to that area of the build. So I'm going to go with the playmaking, and for example, it's going to give us a plus 10 to our playmaking. For the second one, I would go with the lockdown or the sharpshooting, but I'm going to leave that up to y'all. And as you can see, we have made the 3&D point. Now, this is only the first build coming at y'all today. Let's go ahead and get into the second one. The builds are only going to continue to get even better. Now, for this next one, we are definitely going to go ahead and up the height. So, we're going to make this build out of the small forward position. Then, once it comes down to the height, I'm going to go with 6'8", weight of 185, and a 7'4" wingspan. Now remember, when it comes down to the way that we are making each and every one of these builds, these should all be based off of your own preference and the way that you feel comfortable making them. So to start out with the physicals, I'm going to go with a speed of an 80, 78 acceleration, 45 strength, 75 vertical, and a 99 stamina. Now, as for the defensive end, I'm going to go with an interior defense of a 70, but look at that perimeter defense being a 90, 86 steal, and already we're already started off on a great start when it comes down to the defensive end. So when it comes down to the block and the rebounding, I feel like this is going to be a very essential part of this build. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put my block up to a 90. Then that's going to bring us up to a total of 19 badges. But honestly, you don't have to go ahead and upgrade anything on the defensive rebound, but for my liking, just to be more all around on the defensive end, I would go with a maxed out defensive rebound. Then that's going to bring up the offensive to a 60, and then from there you can make your own judgment on what you want to do. But that's going to leave us at a total of 27 badges. Now, if you want to go ahead and really upgrade the offensive rebound, you can do that and get more badges, but I feel like that's going to take away from some other areas of this build, and that's something that I don't want to bring to y'all, but maybe another day. Let's go ahead and get into the playmaking now. So as you can see with the pass accuracy, I'm going to go with a 90. So you already know that when it comes down to the playmaking on this build, we have to go ahead and get a good amount of badges in my opinion. So from here, what I'm going to go ahead and do is put my speed with ball to a 75. Then when it comes down to the ball handle, if you want to max it out, you can do that, but I'm telling you, that risks changing the build name. So I'm going to go with a 77 ball handle, and that's going to leave us at a total of 25 playmaking badges. So we're going to go ahead and mess with the finishing now. I'm going to go with a driving dunk of a 90. Driving layup is going to be brought up to a 70. Right there alone, that's going to give us a total of 13 badges. And we also do have that threshold of a 75 vertical in order to get the contact dunks. And we also are able to maintain gold posterizer as well as slithery finisher and limitless takeoff. A good setup for the badges when it comes down to the finishing. But if you wanted to, you can definitely go ahead and test to try to get more badges on this build. But for my liking, I'm telling you, there are just different ways to make this build. So when it comes down to it on the shooting, I'm going to go ahead and say the 83 pointer is going to be something that I'm going to stick with, then a 75 midi and an 86 free throw. And that's going to give us a total of 21 badges. If we throw a little extra into the driving layup, we're going to get 15 badges when it comes down to the finishing. Pretty solid setup all around. You have everything that you want when it comes down to the defensive end, but even more so when it comes down to the playmaking. Now, you can really do some damage with this build if this build is in the right hands. Now what I mean by that is because we did get that 15 badges for the finishing, you do have all the animations for the contact dunks that you need. And with these takeovers, as you can see, rim protecting and the lockdown, y'all. Then from there, if you want to, you can get the playmaking, but look at the slashing. Whichever takeover you pick, it should be based off of your own preference as well as your own playstyle. However, for mine, I'm just going to say more defense always helps, and I really like the fact that we do get both lockdown takeovers. So let's go ahead and check out the build name. And as y'all can see together, we have created the rare two-way pass first wing. And I have brought y'all this build before in the past, but this version is much different from what I have shown y'all. Now, let's go ahead and get into the last and final build. Now, one thing before we get started. We are already more than halfway through the video, and some of y'all still watching have not hit that like button. So what I need y'all to do is just that, and also drop a comment down below. Where are you coming from? Where are you tuning in from? I want to know everybody who is here. Let me know what state you are from, what city. It does not matter. I'm going to go ahead and shout out your city if you go ahead and comment it down below in the next video. So, man, let's go ahead and get started with this build. I'm going with 6'1", 174 when it comes down to the weight with a 6'3" wingspan. Now, when it comes down to the defensive end, I'm going to go with an 89 perimeter defense. As for the steal, this is going to be a 96 and then a 57 block. Now, I'm telling you, the build name that we're going to get right here is definitely going to be the best one out of all three of these builds. Now, the two-way passer swing, I'm telling you, that is a pretty good name. But when it comes down to this one, this is probably easily one of the coolest build names that you're going to be seeing. Now, when it comes down to it on the shooting end, already getting a total of 31 badges. I am being very specific with the way that we are making this build, because when it comes down to it, you just got to be very careful with certain stats, because if you change anything that's minor, you risk the potential of getting a different build name. And that is why I always tell y'all, when it comes down to it, make sure if you make your own adjustments that you do it after we have created the build together. So when it comes down to what we're going to be looking like for the shooting, I'm going to leave it at 31 badges, 22 for the defensive end. Then when it comes down to the finishing, I'm going to go ahead and go with an 84 driving dunk. Then when it comes down to the driving layup, you can definitely go ahead and upgrade this more if you want to get more badges. But remember, you definitely got to be sure that you at least leave some room when it comes down to our physicals, as well as mainly the playmaking. So right here, you got to be sure that on this build, of course, you are going to be fast. I mean, look, you're going to be 6'1" with probably one of the lowest weights in the game, which is why, in my opinion, I feel like this is going to be a really good one-on-one ball handler. But for my liking, I'm going to go with a 92 speed. Plus, with that boost, when you buy him, you're going to be able to get a 99 speed with ball. Then, when it comes down to the ball handle, if you want to max this out or put it up to where you can get pro dribble moves, I'm going to go with an 87 for my liking. That's going to be perfect. That already brings up to a total of 22 badges. Then, when it comes down to what we're going to go ahead and look like on the pass accuracy side, you definitely got to be sure that you are at least getting bullet pasture on silver. So I'm going to go with the 70 right here. That's going to leave us at a total of 27 badges, and any more than this is really going to be a little bit of what you want to go ahead and mix around with. And what I mean by that, you can definitely go ahead and upgrade more on the playmaking, but you definitely got to be sure to spread the wealth when it comes down to the speed, acceleration, and the physicals overall. So I'm going to go with the 75 vertical, 97 stamina, 91 speed, and a 90 acceleration. Let's go ahead and check out the takeovers. I'm going to leave these options up to y'all, man, but to the real ones who made it to the end, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, and to join the Rich Gang family, hit that like button and be sure to throw on post notifications because I'm uploading every single day and I don't want y'all to miss. And be sure to leave a comment down below when complete. And let's go ahead and check out the build name. And as y'all can see, we have created the two-way 3-point shot creator. I just want to go ahead and say thank y'all, and also above everything, thank God for another opportunity and another day. Thank you again for your support. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And with all that being said, man, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.